Hey, welcome back, guys. So we're going to go ahead and look at Speedway Motors today. So let's go ahead and go to account and sign in. We're going to automate this login page. All right, let's zoom in. Okay, so we have an input field, a button. Now we're not going to sign in with Google. So let's take a look here. Okay, so we have our input. So always look for the tag. Type email. Okay, we have an ID, excuse me. So initial input. So name is initial. Okay, wow. So we have a lot to work with here. This is pretty nice. Okay, so let's look at the continue button. Okay, so we have our button, our tag. We have our classes. So you see these are our classes. Now when there's a space, that means that these are separate classes. So this is class 1, this is class 2, this is class 3. You see that? So be careful with that. And these may be auto-generated when you see weird text like that. So we can't really use the classes except for maybe this one right here. This looks like a nice smooth individual class. So this button has several classes on it. So if you notice, there's no ID, there's no name, but there's a couple of ways, 3 ways that we could interact with this button. And so 2 of the ways is one's an XPath, and then one is, actually they're both XPaths. So we'll probably use this attribute data test ID. You can probably do something with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on our page object that represents this class. So we're going to go into our solution. We're going to copy our variable page. Okay, so we're in our copy. So we will name okay, so this is going to be Speedway Motors login page. Okay. Change our class name, change our constructor. Okay, so we have 2 elements. We have the input field and the continue button. So the input field, let's copy that value. Initial input. So that ID is like a driver's license number. It's the way it IDs the web element. So class names can be shared, so you got to be kind of careful using class names. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this to ID. We'll paste that in here. We'll say email input field by. I'm appending by just because that's the type. You know, everybody. Okay, so all right, and let's put that by in here. I know I didn't finish that thought, but I've said it in so many videos. So if you're new here, you can name it what works best for you. So I'm just appending the type just because it just helps show, what the type is and what element we're referencing. Okay, because the methods are different that we have access to. All right, so let's go ahead and name this one email input element. Okay, so now we're just going to copy this. Well, what I'm doing is highlighting it and then Control D, and that will actually duplicate it. And so this is going to be our continue button. So continue button by, put that same one in here, and then continue button element. Okay, so this is not going to be a ID. This is going to be an XPath. And so, what we could do is we could check the class name because there was one unique or simple class name, this BTN. Let's see how many times this is used. Okay, it's used 15 other times, or 15 times. So this is not a good choice. So we'll do an XPath by data.id. So 1 second, I'm just getting that XPath. Okay, let's go over here. Zoom in a bit. Okay, so we want to find all elements that have a button that have, and then of those buttons, which one has a attribute that's data test ID. And then we'll put our value here. So let's go back to Speedway and let's grab this data test ID. Oh, you can zoom in here. Okay, great. I know some of you are on your cell phones. So right here, okay, it starts here because I zoomed in, but the I, so initial input _ submit button, we're going to use this value here. And let's go ahead and paste that. Zoom out just a bit. And we can test that actually. We can test if that works. So here, let's do that. So in the console, we can actually, so this is a function that I created. We can paste in this. Okay, it doesn't find it. Interesting. Okay, that's unexpected. I thought it would find it. All right, no, that's fine. So the next thing we want to do, okay, we could try to click by this P class, and then where the text contains or equals continue. Let's see. Actually, I think I see our mistake here. Excuse me, my mistake here. So this is why you should just copy things over. So let's try this. There we go. Okay. So the mistake I had made was in defining the attribute, I put a hyphen between the T and the I. So that will break it. So here we could ignore this post request. So really just focus on this here. With the hyphen, no results are found. But without the hyphen, it's found. You see how the button highlights? Found one matching element. Okay, so we can use that. All we need to do is fix it here. Okay, so let's continue with our page. So we just need our email input. We need the element. So we're going to actually send keys. So this is going to be send keys. Zoom in a bit, just a bit more. Okay, so this is going to be send keys. And we're going to send in our email. And then we're going to do something similar with the continue button by continue button element, and we're going to click it. Going to remove the email, and we are going to parameterize this method here and pass in an email. And we'll call this login. Okay, so next we need the test that will use this page. So now we need to go to our tests. We'll take our example test, we'll paste it, and we'll call it Speedway login test. Speedway Motors, it's kind of long, but sometimes being descriptive when you have a really large project, so it's good practice now. Okay, so let's change our class name, and so now we just need to create an object of the Speedway Motors login page, and we can name this anything, but it's suggesting the name login, so we'll just go with that. That's fine. And so we need to create a new instance of the object. So login page, which is referencing our Speedway Motors login page class, and that is going to be a new Speedway login page class, and it's going to receive the driver. Okay, so let's see, we need to change our test name. So login test. And oh, hey guys, listen, you should check out Breaking the Tech, the school community. I go into a lot of detail, so you guys should check it out. All right, now what we do need is this URL. So if you go to Speedway Motors and you do account sign in and register, you want you want to grab this URL. All right, so let's grab that. Let's replace this guy. Zoom out just a bit. And you know, something that's kind of cool that I don't talk about in other videos, which I really should, is this base page. We can use methods from this base page. So this navigation, it does the same thing, but it's good to reuse functions instead of writing the same lines of code multiple times. You don't want to repeat yourself. So let's go back to our test, and we can say Speedway, login. Should be able to have navigation, and then we can pass in our URL. So this will take us to this URL. So then next we need login page. Actually, no, before that we need to create a string, and we'll just say email. Fake email, don't spam Speedway Motors at engines.com. Well, okay, let me fix that. See, there we go. Okay, so let's throw in a thread.sleep just to see what it does after, because it should do something after. It should take us to another page. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this test. So we'll right click and we'll run test. Okay, give that a second. Awesome. So that's it, guys. That's how you log into Speedway Motors. We're not going to try to get past that CAPTCHA. So, all right, guys, I will see you in the next one.